All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I know it's Sunday. I know it's a little bit late, but yeah, you guys always join me, so thank you. I do want to talk about something that's been circulating over the last couple of days. I think I saw this on Friday, and I just wanted to give a little bit of a commentary about this because it's interesting to say the least. So I'm just going to roll a clip, basically. And yeah, I will take any questions that you might have. There's already a couple of questions in here just now. So let's just have a look at this clip first and see what's going on. And you tell me in the comments whether you think this is bizarre or not. I've got my own hypothesis of what's going on here, and I try not to be cynical, but I can't help but be cynical when I hear this kind of stuff. So let's go and just play this clip. This is from BBC Question Time.
Yeah, I just want to know what the plan is for mortgages because I was actually in the process of getting a mortgage as a young person, and I was told my initial interest rate would be 4.5%. And I was told today that the lender has pulled that offer, and now the best offer that I can get is about 10.5%.
Listen, when I first saw this, I could not. I'm like, what on earth is going on? So I don't know. I think there's a few questions maybe to ask here. Number one, did she have an agreement in principle? Was she already through the application process? Because it is very rare that a lender will pull an interest rate or say that you can't have the interest rate if you've already gone through an application stage or you've got maybe an agreement in principle. You're down that line of completing the application. Um, so there's a question mark over that. But I'm just going to take it in the fact that she was in that process where she has actually applied for this mortgage and it is ongoing. This is again, I don't want to be cynical, but this is where I think you maybe have a bank who's trying to be opportunist, and by that you're already so far into the process that actually if you don't continue now you're going to lose the house and therefore that rate hikes up massively. But she's talking about the fact that she's been offered a 4.5% mortgage rate. Now obviously with mortgages, the rate that you get offered is often linked to your loan to value. So, in other words, let me just get rid of this quickly. So, in other words, if you have a high loan to value, your interest rate is typically higher because the way the lenders think about this is well, if you're putting in a 10% deposit and they're lending you 90% of the value of the house, then for them, they feel as though they've got more risk, right? So, therefore, the interest rate that they give you is going to be higher than if you had, say, a 75% loan to value where you put in 25% as a deposit. I'm assuming that she went for a fixed rate because 4.5% is probably about right if you're looking at maybe a 5 year fix, maybe because I think 2 year fixes are still in the threes. Yeah, in about the threes, 3.33.5%. So I'm assuming she was looking to fix for a 5 year period, but we don't know that detail, right? So it's what baffles me here is I don't understand how the bank goes from 4.5% to 10.5%. Because even with all of this uncertainty around where interest rates are going to be, the forecast is that interest rates will hit 6% by this time next year. But with that even being the case, I don't see how that justifies an interest rate of 10.5% now, even though that 6% interest rate actually hasn't happened. And I did some digging around this because I couldn't believe this, right? When I first saw it, I was like, there's no way they could offer 10% because even when you have a look at mortgages for 5 years plus, so fixed for 5 year plus, the highest one that I've been able to find on the market at this point in time is with a company called Kensington. It's 7.44%. That's at the current rates. So how the banks get to 10.5%, I don't know. But it's very unusual for a lender to pull a rate and say, well, actually, this is going to be your new rate if you haven't gone down the application process, which I found really bizarre in the statement. But having said that, though, and I've just got rid of this, let me just reshare this because it'll be interesting to see the reaction of the panel on question time when when she was talking about this. Bear me 1 second. I just got rid of this for a moment. Here we go. It should be right here. Let's pick up from where we kind of just left off, because they were even baffled.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're saying that, you need to immediately look at sort of putting your application through, because if you don't, the lenders may even pull these offers. And for me now, as a first-time buyer, I mean, I don't think I can now.
So I think from what she's saying there, she hadn't actually gone through the application. So I still don't get it though. If you've not gone through the application, saying that the rate is going to be 10.5%, maybe she's spoken to a mortgage broker and she's got a fast, loose mortgage broker or something like that. Because as far as I'm aware, even if you've got a 95% loan to value, I can't see any 10.5% mortgage rates at this point in time. I can't see any. So there are either two things that happen in here: really fast, loose mortgage broker trying to get business quick right there and then, trying to pressurize her into getting something, or the bank, the provider, whoever it is basically playing a fast one and trying to prey on her desperation and her need to actually want to buy a house, knowing that she's almost ready to go. And it's really unfortunate. Let's just have a look at
That's
this.
since Friday.
Yes, yeah.
Since
So
Friday.
let's just hear a bit more about that, because that's an
Yeah.
extraordinary
So I was given
jump.
this initial rate about 2 weeks ago. So we were in the process of getting all the documentations together, making sure everything is correct, ID and all of those things. And today I was told, the lenders are pulling those offers. Those offers are no longer there.
And are they giving you any, what are they saying to you as to why they're doing that?
So they're just saying that the lenders are pulling the offers. That's it. They haven't said anything else. And they said now the best offer that we have is about 10.4%.
Right.
Does that make you uncomfortable, Paul,
Which, as
when
a
you-
first-time
I'll
buyer,
ask that, 'cause I
mean, you
think
can
that's a
imagine
short-term
it's almost you can't do it. Like you have to think from 4.5% to 10.4% is a drastic.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see how you go from a 4.5% to a 10.5%, because I've not been able to see any. But if that
let's
is the
bring you the latest
case,
pictures
if
now
that is the
from
case, let me
Buckingham
just get rid of
Palace.
this 1 second.
And this is
There we go. If that is true, then I don't know what's going on there. I mean, it's either a dodgy mortgage broker, or maybe you've got a provider that's playing fast and loose. But it's one of the situations where, in those kind of environments, if you ever get presented with this kind of thing, this is why you need to be shopping around, and why I always advise people, or at least encourage people, to go see an independent mortgage broker, right? So one of the things that's really important to understand, especially if you're a first-time buyer, and this will be a really, really good tip for people, is, when you go to apply for a mortgage, if you go to, say, a bank, so you go to Halifax or you go to Barclays, they are simply going to offer you what they have on their roster, right? So essentially, it's like going into, I don't know, Tesco's, knowing that you're looking for one thing, then only looking at one section of the supermarket, not looking all around the supermarket. And that's the beauty of an independent mortgage broker, right? An independent mortgage broker will go to the entire market and have a look at the best deal for you based on your criteria. And oftentimes when you are applying for mortgages, the criteria is really, really important, because if you go to a Halifax or go to a Barclays, for example, you've got to meet their criteria specifically. So they'll say your income level has to be here, or you have to have this, and this. You have to meet that. So if you don't necessarily meet it, it's like putting a square peg in a round hole, right? Whereas if you go to all of the market with an independent mortgage broker or mortgage advisor, they go out to all of the providers. Then what they then potentially do is they try and find one that matches your scenario. So it's not so much of a square hole in a round peg, right? It's more fitting in that way. So always shop around is kind of the moral of the story with this one. If this is true, then it is the banks being, well, I don't want to use the phrase, or it's just a mortgage broker or someone at, I don't know, a developer trying to pull a fast one. And again, if you are going to do a mortgage, just don't go with the first mortgage provider that the developer puts you in front of. You want to shop around as much as possible, but it's highly unusual for the rates to go up like that. I mean, it's shocking to me. It really, really is. And I hope I hope this is not true. I sincerely do. But there we go. Let me just have a look at the comments here quickly. Just to see. I was just watching, moving my 83 pension. Things have changed. Great video. Thank you, Food Dweller. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Was it stage? So people are saying down here saying stage, and I saw another person saying it seemed stage. Look, you never know with this kind of stuff, right? It may have just been done to, I don't know, generate headlines. It's very, very unusual for this kind of stuff to happen. But if it does, then someone's playing fast and loose, and I guess that's the big moral there. I guess the thing is, we're never really going to know unless we know the detail, right? Here's a question right here. Let me just get to this. Pete, is this Monday market doomsday? The charts are manipulated. Looks like a massive dip and everything will happen. I don't know. I've been away for the weekend, so I've not really been paying attention to a lot. I mean, I've been following the Tory Conservative Party thing this weekend, and it's highly unlikely they're going to announce spending cuts. Liz Truss was pressed on this and she didn't give a straight answer. And the simple fact is, mate, look, if they do persist and carry on with this 45% cut to the tax bracket, essentially what you're doing is you're reducing your receipts. So what you have to do is you have to reduce your expenditure. So if you're reducing the amount of money that's coming in, you have to cut your spending. That's the most straightforward equation there is. Who knows what's going to happen? I think we're going to find out November, but if not before then. It's going to be a very, very scary time indeed. And I think interest rates are going to continue to go up. I really, really do. I've got a video coming out on Tuesday talking about should you look at paying your early repayment charge if your mortgage is going to end in the next 12, 24 months. I'm actually in that boat right now looking at that situation myself. That video will give you a little bit of a behind the scenes thought around what I'm thinking about and the calculations that I'm doing. So if you do have a mortgage and you've got an early repayment charge, your mortgage ends in 12 to 24 months. There are 2 million mortgages that will be coming out of their fixed rate in the next 12 to 24 months. If that's you, then the video on Tuesday will be worthwhile watching because it's just going to give you maybe a train of thought to follow or at least use as a reference point. I didn't want to make this a long one, guys, because I've got a load of stuff I need to do tonight, prepping for tomorrow and for Tuesday. Maybe I'll do like another live video, maybe midweek if I have a chance to. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it's the banks playing around fast and loose? Do you think it's incomplete information? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know because I would love to know. I will catch you guys later on. Have a good evening. Cheers.